Hi friends, welcome to Mechanical Explorations. Now, in this previous lectures, we have seen about the problems of conduction. Now, as a continuation of this part, we are going to see the rest of the problems. As a first problem, we are going to indicate a one-dimensional plane wall of thickness 2L is 100 mm, which experiences an uniform heat generation, Qg is given, and it is connectively cooled at, that is, x plus or minus 50, in which you have to consider a center, it is 0, and from that plus x 50 minus x 50, which is cooled in the sense, convection is coming into picture. So the ambient temperature is given and the steady state temperature distribution, the profile they have been giving, and in that profile the A and B values are given. Now what they are asking you to find out the thermal conductivity of the wall and the value of convective heat transfer coefficient H. So now you know that you can see this is a plane wall. That is the thing they have given, plane wall. Ambient temperature is given. Now TS is termed to be surface temperature, and they have given the given value of Qg is 1000 watt per meter cube. The profile is given. Now they said to find the H value. Already the profile is given. Now surface temperature is 30, ambient is 20. Regarding what you are going to do, you are just going to differentiate. If you differentiate one time, you will be getting this temperature profile. Next, you will be getting minus 2a. We know the a value is 10. If you substitute 20, minus 20. Why we are differentiating this? Because in one dimension heat conduction equation, there is a formula. In order to get this thing, the profile is given and you have to differentiate two times. After you substitute this, you will get the k value, because here qg value is known. Here dou t by dou t will be 0, because in question they have specified steady state, so it is 0. You will be getting the value of k. And for this plane wall, we have seen that we have studied this formula, that is Ts minus T infinity equal to Qg by H into volume upon surface area. Here everything value is given. You are going to just substitute the value. See, volume area into length. Here the length is 2L and the surface area is 2A. 2 cancel, AA cancel, and L will be there. If you substitute all those values, you will be getting the value of H. So our required criteria, that is value of thermal conductivity, convective transfer coefficient and thermal conductivity, both are derived. Now moving on to next problem, you can see a 3.2 mm diameter stainless steel wire, which is 30 centimeter length, and voltage of 10 volt is impressed on it. The outer surface of the wire is maintained to be 93. Calculate the temperature of center of wire. See what things they are going to. Actually, if you consider a wire which is given in the question to be 30 centimeter long, 3.2 mm, and 10 voltage is passing in it, is impressed in it. Outer surface temperature of wire is 93. That is, here outer surface is 93 and it is 3.2 mm and the length is given, and calculate the temperature at the center of wire. See, there will be, however, voltage is there. If voltage is there, the wire is having some current. If the when some current is passing in the wire, what happens? It will be developed in center of the wire or around the wire. So around the wire temperature is given, and the center of the wire they are asking the temperature. So calculate the temperature at the center of wire. Resistivity is given 70 mu omega centimeter. K value is given. See, omega is 10 power minus 6. If you convert the centimeter into meter, it will be 10 power minus 8 omega. 70, 10 power minus 8 omega. These values you can see here. That's what I have given, 70, 10 power minus 8 meter. That is converting the omega centimeter into meter. Now del V is 10 volt and D is given, R is given, T is surface is given, and this term 22.5 watt per meter square Kelvin. 22.5 watt per it. This is K, not T. And L equal to 0.3. Now you are going to calculate the maximum temperature. See, for calculating maximum temperature, we know this formula. Just by this formula, we can calculate. But the internal generation is not given, right? Qg is not given. So we need to calculate Qg. That is small Qg with respect to volume. So we need to calculate capital Qg. We know the formula for capital Qg, that is del Vi. And for I, it is V by R. Because V equal to IR, we need I, so V by R. We need R, so R equal to rho L by AC. We know rho value, L value, AC, surface area. What is the surface? Pi by 4 D square. If you substitute all those value, you will get R. You substitute here, you will get I. If you substitute here, you will get QG. And the volume, what is the volume of cylinder? Pi by 4 D square L. If you substitute all those value, you will be getting 1.5 into 10 power 9 watt per meter cube. Next, you got the Qg. Now temperature at the center of wire, that is you are going to calculate the Tmax, that is Tmax minus Ts equal to Qg R square by 4K. This we have seen n number of times. This formula I have said you to memorize. When the wire is coming into picture, very important, you already know it is cylinder only. So we have to take the formula for cylinder, not sphere. So Tmax minus Ts equal to Qg R square by 4K. When you are substitute every value we know, just we are going to substitute, and with help of calculator we will be getting the answer 138.14 degrees Celsius. I need you to understand how to use the formula. From that formula, what are the things we are going to take and derive the solution. We already see every formula. This formula we have seen, this formula, every formula we have seen. Just by understanding the question, we are going to substitute and get the answer. Now moving on to the next question. See, here its statement is given. Consider steady one-dimensional heat flow in a plate of 20 mm thickness. Uniform heat generation. The Qg is given. Left and right side faces are kept to constant temperature. What they are telling, one left plate is there. In left side that is 160 and right side it is 120 degrees Celsius. The plate has constant thermal conductivity. K is given. Location at maximum temperature within the plate. Actually, from left side, by seeing this, if I draw the diagram, you can understand. See, the plate is there. Plate is there. Here it is left side. Here one temperature is given. And here another temperature given. Why I indicated in the top and bottom? Because here it is 160 and here it is 120. Yes, 120 I think. Now what they are asking, they are asking you to find the maximum temperature's location. First you find maximum temperature's location, and they are also asking in second question what is the maximum temperature also. First you have to find, if you are finding maximum temperature like this, the graph is going like that. So temperature is maximum here means, here they are asking from left side how much mm is this, how much distance is this, and in second question only they are asking what is the temperature here, maximum temperature. Very easy, we can address this problem. You can see this is the thing, 160, 120. So values is given, steady state is given, one dimensional equation you know, this is cancelled, and if this comes this side, what we are going to do, integrate. If we integrate, we will be getting these conditions. See, we are going to integrate 2 times in order to get the temperature profile. This profile we got. We know Qg, we know K, we know everything, and we got T value. Now the thing is coming into picture. That is, we don't know, after this we can't even know how to proceed. So for that we know the condition to apply the boundary conditions. So our x equal to 0, the T1 is 160. If you are substitute here, you will get C2. And for C1, what the thing is that x equal to 0, right? This will be 0. And for C1, you have to substitute these conditions. That is x equal to, actually this is 20 meter mm is given. If mm is converted into meter, 10 power minus 3, right? So 0.02 meter. That's why I have written here 0.02. T2 is 120. If you substitute this, you will get C1. Temperature is given. That is, temperature profile is completed with C1 and C2. Now, my dear friends, please be remembered that we have to find the maximum temperature location. In order to find out the maximum temperature location, the criteria and the condition is for maximum temperature location is we have to differentiate with respect to x the temperature profile which is given to be 0. That is, dou T by dou x is 0. When we differentiate with respect to x, whatever the values we are getting, we have to equate it to 0. Then whatever the x value we are getting, it is the location at which the temperature is maximum. That's all. So we got x equal to 5 mm. Now what you are going to do is, we need to find the maximum temperature. Actually, they have asked in second question that only, maximum temperature within the plate degree Celsius. Now x equal to 5 mm, you are going to substitute here. The only required value here is x only. Everything is been there. After substituting the x value, we will get the temperature value as 165 degrees Celsius. This is the maximum temperature. When you substitute this 165 in this diagram, you can see here, that is 165. When we come here, see, I say that is, here it is 160. If it is here 160, 165 is here, which means the temperature distribution is like this, 160 and here some 120 is there. So you also found out the value of x equal to 5 mm. Totally this is 20 mm. At this location it is 5 mm. That's all. I hope so. It is very clear to you and you have understood everything clearly. The only thing, you have to integrate the profile and then you have to substitute the boundary condition and you have to proceed with this further, because here it is steady state only. It is very easy. When coming to unsteady state, we need to have some attention. Now the next problem is a simple one. Yes, in a composite slab, the temperature at the interface between two materials is equal to the average of the temperature at the other two ends. Assuming one steady one-dimensional heat conduction, which are the following equation? Actually, in this question, you can see this is the diagram they have been given. This is one slab. This is one slab. K1, K2, and the profile, the temperature, which is here it is neutral and somewhat decreasing, and here it is completely decreasing. So this material has temperature, thermal conductivity K1, it has thermal conductivity K2. What they are mentioned in the question, interface having the average temperature. When the interface is termed to have an average temperature, then two slabs should have equal resistance. See, when this is interface, this is termed to be in average, then what happens? The two slabs should be have equal resistance. Actually, this thing won't be straight. Actually, it will be like this. How it will be? You can see this is one slab, this is two slabs. Actually, T1 is here and it will be falling like this, and T2 will be falling like this, and T interface will be here. Only then we can say this T1 plus T2 divided by 2 is equal to this Ti, and when this Ti, this is average, this is interface, this is average, which means same resistance in both sides. That's what I'm trying to say here. And you can see that R1 equal to R2, and they have given in the question, this is the length of 2B. Here it is the length of B. Okay, we know that the length by resistance is length by conductivity. So 2B by K equal to B by K2. When you cancel both the things, you have to cross multiply. K1 equal to 2K2. So K1 is 2 times of K2. K1 is 2 times of K2. Option D is correct. I hope so you understand this question. Now coming to the next question. Here you have to be very careful. While seeing the question itself, they have given some instant of time. Now Read the question. A wall is heated uniformly at volumetric heat generation rate of 1 kilowatt per meter square. That is not Kelvin. Heat generation Qg, you know the unit is watt per meter cube. Here they have given K, which means it is kilo, not Kelvin. So you know that 1 kilowatt per meter cube. Now the temperature distribution across the thick wall at certain instant of time is given. Very, very, very important thing you have to focus. Before previous everything we have seen only the state, that is steady state only, but here they have given with respect to time, which means it is unsteady state. You have to be very careful. They are given a temperature profile Tx equal to A plus Bx plus C x square, where A value is given, B, C, everything is given, and the wall area is also given, and thermal conductivity is given. See, actually you consider this is a wall in which what they have specified with respect to time, they have specified in instant of time Qg is given, temperature profile is given, wall area is given, wall as an area is given, thermal conductivity is given. What they are asking, the rate of heat transfer into the wall, energy storage. Actually they are asking there will be some heat is flowing inside the wall, which means you have to be very careful. There is already something behind there. That is the thing, because it is flowing, it is coming from here, it is coming from here, and they are telling you to find out the storage also here, how much it is storing. So which means something is coming here, which means already something is here. So from that it is coming. We don't want this something, but we need how much heat is coming here. After the completion of problem, you will know what this phenomenon or what substance or slab or something is here. Finally, the rate of heat transfer into the wall, they are asking at x equal to 0. See, they have been very clear at x equal to 0, which means this is 0. Whatever you consider the wall, that is 0. That's what I have been taken. You can see, you have to consider this thing only first. This is your system. That's why I have marked in dotted lines. Q in is coming, because it is coming from where it will come. It has to some source, some slab or some object. From there only Q in should come. So it is coming in. Now you have to consider this is as x equal to 0 and Q out is going. You need not to worry about Q out. First you have to find Q in and Q stored. Before that, you need to know it is an instant, it is unsteady. First you have to clarity on steady or unsteady. So what are the temperature profile is given, Ax plus B, whatever is given you already know. This formula you very well know, because small qg equal to capital Qg divided by volume. Volume is area into length. Qg is given, area is known, length is known, everything is substituted and we got Qg. Next, this thing, actually I want you to understand one thing, because we need to know Q in. We know the formula for Q in, that is minus Ka dou T by dou X. They need at x equal to 0. Very clearly in question they have asked at x equal to 0. So at x equal to 0, we need to find the value of dou T by dou X, and we know the K1A value. We need to find this value only, dou T by dou X at x equal to 0. So when you are going to differentiate with respect to x, we will get b plus 2cx equal to 0. See, at 2cx, we know the value of b, which is minus 300. If you substitute the x equal to 0, this term will be getting cancelled. So minus 300 is the value of dou T by dou X at x equal to 0. If you substitute this value, you will be getting Q in as 120 kilowatt. That's all, you found the Q in. Now after, they have specified the thickness to be 1 mm. That's why you have taken the L to be 1. Be very careful. And L to be 1 meter. 1 meter. So Q out you have to find out. Then only you can find the Q stored. They are very clear. If they are asking in second question, you find out only Q out, the problem will be ended in 160 itself. You need not to go for Q stored. They are very clever. You need to go for full thing. That's why they asked Q stored, in which you automatically need to find Q out, because you need to substitute the value of Q out. After then only you will be getting Q stored. So Q out at 1 meter, because it is going out at 1 meter, right? 1 meter the plane, the wall is there at x. So what is the value of x? It is the thickness itself, 1 meter. If you substitute 1 here, you will be getting b plus 2c. You know the b value plus 2c value. If you substitute all those things, b plus 2c value, just you have to substitute the things, that's all, and you will be getting 160. Now you know this thing, q in plus q generation minus q out equal to q stored. Actually I studied in my second lecture itself. See, this is to be remembered very easily. How much money you are earning, how much, what is your income, and what the thing you are storing, and what the thing you are getting from your father is equal to your storage. Actually, like generation is your income, q in it is getting from your parents, and out as you have been spending. If you neutralize this, you can say how much money you have that is stored. Okay, apart from this, you have after substituting all those value, you will be getting q stored as minus 30. This is the value, that is my 30 kilowatt is the answer. Okay, answer is over, problem is over here itself. See, I want to make sure that you need to understand these things, that if we want to find the profile. Okay, what happens? Ax plus b, we took the profile, we differentiated it. We need where is the temperature is maximum. If we check where the temperature is maximum, already I said a criteria that dou t by dou x equal to 0. If you substitute 0 here equal to b plus 2c, if you see this x value will be minus 3. See, we know x equal to 0 and 1. Where the minus 3 comes from? That is the thing, which means the guy who have designed this question considered as intentionally took everything and made you to consider this thing, but after finding the maximum temperature, it is far below, that is behind this original question value itself, that is minus 3. From, if you consider 0 here, minus 3 will be here, so T max is here, which means temperature flow profile will be coming like this. So Q in will be coming from this slab or this object. Hope so friends, you understand now. I think so you understand how the question is being manipulated and all those things. Now moving on to next question. See, this is a very important question. Actually, I need you to be very full focused, because here dry bulb is given, wet bulb is given, and dew point temperature is given. I need to make sure that you know the concepts of these things, because before knowing these concepts, what is dry bulb, what is wet bulb, and what is dew point temperature is very difficult. See, if you are going to measure the temperature of room, that is the temperature of the room which is measured by dry thermometer. So it is known as dry bulb temperature. Just you are going to measure room temperature which is with the help of dry thermometer, then it is termed to be dry bulb temperature. Very easy. Now coming to wet bulb temperature, what is wet bulb is the temperature of thermometer is made to be wet. How you are going to make to be wet is you are going to surround the thermometer with a wet cloth. When you are going to surround the thermometer with a wet cloth, and after that you are going to immerse the thermometer in a liquid, and you have to go take the thermometer, and if you just give some 2 to 3 rotations, and after that you are going to measure the temperature in the thermometer. That is termed to be wet bulb temperature. I clearly said, if you are going to you are going to test the thermometer in open air in your room, it is termed to be dry bulb. When you are going to test the same thermometer after covering in a wet cloth, after immersing in a liquid, and then you are going to see the temperature, what the reading shows, then it is termed to be wet bulb temperature. Actually, in case of wet bulb temperature, you need to understand one important thing. The humidity will be coming into picture. If the surrounding humidity is high, which means water vapor or moisture content is very high. So in this case, the thermometer reading will be calibrated to I. Actually, I need you to understand like how much the quantity the air is able to absorb the water vapor or moisture. If you show the thermometer in air in an open space, the how much it is a capacity of this to absorb the water vapor or the moisture. If the humidity is very low, then the water will absorb more moisture or more water. Actually, if you take coastal areas like Chennai, there it is humidity is very high. What happens if the humidity is very high? The absorbing capacity of the temperature will be very low because already everything is been absorbed in the air, right? Then what's the thing the thermometer is going to absorb? If you take the dry areas, like if you move towards somewhere like Indore or Hyderabad, there the humidity will be very low. So if you take the wet bulb temperature thermometer into the air, the amount of water that is going to water vapor or the moisture which that is going to be absorbed will be concerned to be high because the humidity is very low. Whatever thing the wet or wet things which is coming, it will be absorbing because there is humidity low, right? When humidity high, the absorbing nature is very down. When humidity is low, the thermometer observing nature is going to be high. Now dry bulb is wet bulb. This is the concept. Now coming to another thing, they have given the dew point temperature under these conditions. Dew point temperature. Actually, dew point temperature is, you need to understand a concept in which if you are comparing the air and ice, like if you say this is air, this is ice. Air is termed to be at 30 degrees Celsius. Air is in 30 degrees Celsius. Ice is minus 2 degrees Celsius, something below 10 degrees Celsius, I have took minus 2 degree. Now you can see that, friends, one important thing, the air is there at 30 degrees Celsius. You can feel only there, nothing you are going to feel other than this. But at 2 degrees Celsius, you can see that ice with your help of your eyes. That is, ice is there, you can touch that ice, you can see. But air you can feel, but you can't see. But something you can see here. Concept is, this is the criteria. When the air is coming below minus 10 degrees Celsius, the air is coming below minus 10 degrees Celsius. What happens when the air is coming below minus 10 degrees Celsius? It starts to condense. That is, the air is converting into water vapor. You need to understand this concept. Like, there is a bottle. You consider this is a one bottle you are taking from the refrigerator. After stored in refrigerator, you took the bottle outside. Here now bottle has some 5 degrees Celsius. Bottle is in 5 degrees Celsius. You are keeping this bottle in an open space. Now whatever the air which is in your room, the room temperature to be taken as 32 something, okay. Now what happens, after sometimes you can notice that after this bottle is kept in your room, there will be some water droplets which is formed above the surface of. After this, then you can see some water droplets. Actually, my dear friends, the water droplets which is coming in this over this bottle is not due to this water which is here, but due to this temperature of the bottle. What happens, the air which is 30 degrees Celsius is coming here and getting contacted here. What happens, it is now here 30 degrees Celsius which is getting contacted in 5 degrees Celsius. So what happens, the air temperature is dropped below 10 degrees Celsius. when it is coming below 10 degrees Celsius, the air is going to be condensed. That is, the air is going to be turned to water vapor. So the air is turned to water vapor. That's why you can see the water vapor, that is water droplets. Water droplets. So this is how the water droplets are formed. Actually, dew point temperature is what is here 30 degrees Celsius is there. Okay, it's fine, you know, very good. Now, here 5 degrees Celsius is there. But what is the temperature at which this air is turned to be water vapor? That is, at which temperature the air is going to be changed to water droplet. See, here you say 5 degrees Celsius, but it may come at a saturated point at 7 degree, even 6 degree, 5 degree. We know don't know at what temperature the air is going to be converted to water vapor. That temperature is termed to be the saturation temperature. That saturation temperature is known as to be your dew point temperature. Now, I hope so, friends, you understand what is dry, wet bulb, and dew point temperature. Actually, coming to, if you want more clarity, that is regarding wet bulb, nothing. If you see the thermometer here, if you saying you are in, if you see this is a thermometer, like you are in, this is you can take for Hyderabad and you take for Vizag or Chennai or another important hot or dry city, that is Vellore. So this is thermometer, right? Now in this place the humidity is very low. In this place the humidity is very high. What happens? The way you are covering the wet with wet cloth, the thermometer. Same thing here also thermometer is there. You are covering with a wet cloth. Wet cloth. After that you are rotating the thermometer. Then you are going to see this thermometer will observe low, because already the air is been in at high humidity. Whatever is going to become the absorbing capacity is already saturated, right? But here it is not saturated. The capacity, the thing which is not saturated, so humidity is low. So whatever the thing that is the absorbing the wet water vapor or the moisture will be comparatively more. When humidity is low, then the water will absorb more moisture or water vapor. That is the main thing I want to tell for regarding wet bulb temperature. Wet bulb temperature is measured, that is measured with humidity. Actually, you need to know when coming to humidity, there are one thing that is hygrometer is there. Hygrometer is used to measure the humidity. In this hygrometer, only two things are there. That is dry bulb temperature also present in this hygrometer, wet bulb temperature also present in this. With this help of this hygrometer only, you are going to measure humidity. Hope so, friends, you understand this concept very well, and also regarding dry bulb and also dew point. Now, moving on to the problem, they are telling the building has to be maintained at 21-degree dry bulb. See, very clearly, they have given the building to be maintained at 21-degree Celsius dry bulb. Already I said dry bulb, you are just going to measure the room thermometer, that is 21 degrees. So, where the temperature will be, it will be inside. Because dry bulb just going to measure inside the building only, right? Also they have said maintained, you are going to measure maintained inside, you are going to maintain in only. And 14.5 degrees Celsius wet bulb temperature will be addressing this 14.5 degree. The dew point temperature under this condition is 10.17. Actually, if you take water, I have said in the concept of water bottle, there is water droplet at the surface only. Same thing, the dew point temperature is going to occur in the surface only. That is, the building's surface temperature is 10.17. Hope so. How the dew point temperature is connected to the surface temperature. Now you understand those things. The outside temperature is given to be minus 23 degrees Celsius. Ambient temperature, obviously you know. Now you are going to measure this thing outside. With the same dry bulb, you are going to measure the outside temperature. It is minus 23 centigrades. That is ambient temperature. Internal external surface heat transfer coefficient is given. Internal external means HI is 8 and H out is 23. Both the things given. See, if the building wall has minimum thickness of wall required to prevent condensation. Actually, what is the question they are asking? How much thickness should be there to prevent condensation? Condensation, the air is not turned to water vapor. No, the water vapor or the building is maintaining its temperature. The building is not losing its temperature, because if it loses its temperature, what happens? The temperature will decrease. If the temperature decreases, automatically I have said that air is converted to water vapor. Building will become unstable. This condition, if you take in our Indian cities, in our Indian country, nowhere this thing is going to be happen. This thing is going to be happen only in foreign countries or in colder, very cool places. That's why they are very much cared about the condensation. Already temperature is 21. They are maintaining the 21 degrees Celsius. Here already 30, 40 is very neutral. They are maintaining 21 and they are asking you to prevent the condensation of the building. For that, how much thickness you have to you have to build the wall. Like if you see this, you will get clarity. After addressing the question only, you have to see. See, my dear friends, the surface temperature 10.17, the inner that is 21, outer measured dry bulb 23, inner convective 8 and outer 23. Actually, you can see here. Now, the wall length is there. This is thickness. How much thickness it should be there? Because if the thickness is very less, what happens? The outer temperature minus 23 is there. This thing can make the coolness or it can condense here. If the temperature, it can condense means the temperature might drop to 10 degree and the persons cannot survive in this building. So that they are asking, they are maintaining 21 degree Celsius inside the building, means they are having some heater and they are maintained. That's why you have to understand question carefully. Maintained, they are maintaining 21 degree. Outside they are, see, it is minus 23 near to less Europe countries. Minus 23 is there. So you need to maintain this temperature. If how much the thickness of wall you are going to, whatever the question is, after understanding concept, we have to simply make a diagram, and here convection is there, here convection is there. Very good. Next, convection and the surface, there will be one resistance, and the surface resistance there will be, and surface to convection there will be. See, convection to surface T1, one resistance is there, 1 by H, you already know. This is surface resistance is there, and here also it is T1, my dear friends. I have left here T1, and here you can see the convection resistance, because between this surface also some convection is right. Here T1 and here T infinity, some heat will be taken with respect to air, that is fluid, ambient temperature is given. So 1 by H naught. Why 1 by H naught? The outer convective transfer going to given, that is 1 by H naught. So here also on resistance T1. We just equating the left and right hand side. So 1 minus T infinity Ti, 1 by Hi, and this is the right hand side. Left hand side, right hand side. If we equate this, if you consider this is left hand, this is right hand. If we equating both those things, we will get, ultimately we are going to get the L value, that is this thing. After getting the L value, that you have to say 0.407 meter or 40 centimeter. If you want to measure in centimeter scale, you have to give a suggestion to the designer who is building the building. You need to say you have to build the wall in the thickness of 40 centimeter, then only the conduction won't happen. Otherwise, what happens here, the coolness will be coming and the person can't survive in this home. So the length of the wall is coming to be 0.407 meter. This is our ultimate solution. Now coming to next question. Study two-dimensional heat conduction equation takes place in the figure shown below. Actually, temperature gradient over the surface P and Q can be considered to be uniform. Temperature gradient dou T by dou X is of Q is 10, surface P and Q are constant temperature. Actually, I will be telling with respect to diagram, then only it will be see. A difference it is given here, the surface is given here, dou T by dou X is here, dou T by dou Y is here. What they are telling in question, now you understand. Temperature gradient over surface P and Q. Temperature gradient over surface P. This is P. This is Q. Okay, fine. Considered to be uniform. That is uniform temperature gradient is there. Very good. Next, the temperature gradient dou T by dou X at surface Q is equal to 10 Kelvin per meter, which is Q. Dou T by dou X at Q is 10 Kelvin per meter. Next, surface P and Q are maintained at constant temperature. Okay, surface gradient is given and they are also telling surface is maintained at constant temperature. Now, while the remaining part of boundary is insulated, everything is insulated. Here only insulated means only heat will coming here, going out here. They have given here. Now, the body has constant thermal conductivity K is given 0.1 watt per meter Kelvin. The value of dou T by dou X, dou T by dou A at P. Actually, dou T by dou X at Q they have given. See my dear friends. Dou T by dou X at Q they are given. Okay, fine. Dou T by dou Y they are asking you to find out dou T by dou X at P and dou T by dou Y at P. They are asking you to find out. Very clearly they have given it is steady. Steady means you can close your eyes and write Q1 Q in equal to Q out. You already know, I know that Q in equal to Q out, you will be writing those things. And Q equal to minus K at dou T by dou Y with respect to P and Q. Why I am taking like that? You need to first very careful. Actually, in the question you can see first what they have given, because insulated things they have given. Yes, the remaining part is insulated. This is very careful. You need to understand. If this is insulated, only it will be coming in this direction and going out this direction. See, it will be coming in Y and it will be going in X direction. So, my dear friends, Q in is there. Q in which direction it is coming? At the gradient of Y. So, with respect to dou T by dou Y, you have to find the value. If the heat is going in respect to Y, then what the gradient in X? It is 0. That's what here. Dou T by dou X is 0. Actually, from question itself, you can understand one thing, which here it is given dou T by dou X of Q equal to 10. Of Q is 10. Here you can see, sorry, dou T by dou X of Q equal to 10, which is in X direction. It is 10, dou T by dou X. So, when the gradient in X direction, it is given. Here it is very much clearly indicated in the question. It is very perpendicular, very straight lined. So the gradient in the Y will be automatically 0. In question also they have given dou T by dou X is 10. You can see it is very straight. So Y is 0. You can see it is very X. So X is 0. Y value will be changing. I know these things, basic concept you will be addressing very easy. Y is 0, X is 0. Y you need to find. That's why we have taken minus Q for Q in, minus K at dou T by dou Y, not X. X is 0. Dou T by dou Y of P equal to Q out, which is X. Because Y is 0. They are not asking this value. They are asking this value only. We need not to bother about this Y. So, dou T by dou X of Q equal to 10. And you will be getting this value 10. Here K value is given to be 2. Here K value is given to be something 1, I think so. In question we can see what are the things it is given. The value as thermal conductivity is given 0.1. After substituting these values, friends, you are going to get, actually here it is given 1. That's why we are substituting area 1. Here it is given as area equal to 2. Whatever the k value, both the k will be cancelled. And this dou t by dou y equal to 20. That's all we got the answer because this value is 10, right? And y value we know. X value we already know it is 0. So the answer is x0 y20. Need to see x, it is 0 where x0 y20 option D is the correct answer. Hope so friends you understand every problems in conduction in depth in detail. These are the maximum problems we can solve in conduction. We have solved every model. We have seen a number of concepts. These are the only concept which is going to be conformly conveying in the gate point of view, also in ISRO, BAR, DRDO. In case of ESC, there will be derivation. If you need derivation, you can mail me so that I can give you living comments, because I really want to know how much people interested in ESC, because simply given derivation is not useful. Because preparing for gate, derivation is not important. That's why I haven't given here. Okay, these are the main things. We have gone through 11 part of lectures, and this 11 part of lectures are the only thing which are going to come in gate point of view regarding conduction. We'll be going as such every point step by step so that you have detailed clarity on concept, because if we have clarity on concept, problem solving is a very easy thing. We know how to derive, we will know how to address the question and take the solutions, take the given data. After seeing the formula, after memorizing all those things, we are just going to substitute the values in the formula, we are going to get the solutions. This is the ultimate thing regarding to me in conduction. If there is any extra things when I feel or if I see, I will surely give upload in this lecture series. Thank you. See you in next coming lessons. If you have any queries, you can drop me in a mail or you can leave in comments.
If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel.